want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. A former Elizabethtown School Director employee has been arrested for having a relationship with a 15-year-old and sending pictures to him and his 16-year-old friend. According to Northwest Regional Police Department, the incident was reported on May 3rd, stating that Elizabethtown School employee was sending pictures and videos to multiple students. The report also has details of encounters that the staff member had with a 15-year-old boy who she taught. The paraprofessional was later identified as 37-year-old Megan Carlisle. Carlisle, who works for Elizabethtown Middle School as a paraprofessional, is the ISS classroom monitor. She sent photos and videos of her performing acts on herself, which investigators found on the phone of several students. A 50-year-old victim was later interviewed by police who told them that Carlisle touched and caressed the individual during numerous school periods while the student was in ISS classrooms on April 28th of 2023. Police also state that Carlisle then contacted the boy through Snapchat after school and discussed contact with him multiple times. Carlisle then reported to have sent more photos and videos of herself to the boy and his 60-year-old friend. Same night, Carlisle picked up the 15-year-old the 400 block of Rockwood Drive and parked in an empty parking lot. During that time, officers state that Carlisle had a relationship with the student. An affidavit of probable cause alleged that after Carlisle left the parking lot, the victim texted her and asked her for money to get food. The paraprofessional allegedly sent him $20 via a Cash App. The victim also told police that the next day he was going again to text Carlisle and told her he needed vape pods. Carlisle allegedly purchased 4 vape pods and gave them to the victim in the same area they had met the night before, then left. Police state that there is no telling how many students have seen Carlisle's photos or videos as they were sent and shared to an unknown amount of students at the school. According to a press release sent out this morning by the Elizabethtown Area School District, Carlisle is no longer employed at the school. Quote, Elizabethtown Area School District is aware of the charge filed against Megan Carlisle, former paraprofessional at the high school, for alleged misconduct. While we do not generally make it our practice to comment on personal or legal matters, we believe the situation necessitates a statement. As such, we are sharing the following information. Ms. Carlisle is no longer employed by the school district. The district fully cooperated with local law enforcement on the investigation. We will have no further comments on this matter as it will be adjudicated in the courts. Carlisle was arrested on Thursday and is being charged. Now, let me just put this helpful stat directly out here, and specifically for the reason why I do a lot of these videos. When the FBI, in a sense, states, right, that the offenses against family and children, 67.1% of those that commit those acts are the exact same people that you see me reporting on. So, when it is that you have individuals that always want to talk about the specifics, they want to always talk about the stats, they always want to talk about 2 to 3 categories, and that's only it. They don't want to talk about the rest of the stats that are directly up there, where they're the ones that have the numbers. They're on the boards, right? I feel like J.R. Smith, I thought we was up, right? Because that's the main thing that people like to say when it deals with black people. They always say like, "Oh yeah, you guys are always up on the stats. Whenever it comes to the stats, you guys are always up there. You guys are always doing the most." But yet, when it comes to stuff like this, it's always you guys, right? When it comes to offenses, right? When it deals with this type of thing as well, right? 71.6% of the time it is Caucasian. So again, when we happen to look and hear about these stories, it's specifically one demographic that's performing these things, that's having these things, right? That are doing these things. And it's pretty funny that these stories aren't really plastered all over, the news, nightly news, every single time. They should really just have a role. right? A 24-hour cycle just showing you all of the teachers that get caught every single day, every single month, every single week. They really should do it because they have enough to do it. They just refuse and opt not to do it, which I find to be quite ridiculous. Quite ridiculous. Like I said before, she's going to get charged, but no telling if all of those charges are going to stick, and no telling if she's actually going to serve any type of time, right? And the most interesting thing about it is usually if there's one teacher doing that, there's more teachers doing that as well. And the other thing I want to point out too is that anybody, notice the increase of women doing this, right? I could have sworn at a moment in time that people used to always be worried about the male teachers, right? Watch out for those coaches, watch out for the history teacher, watch out for the geography teacher, right? It used to be that type of deal. But now, look at where we are. We have a lot of these female teachers out here doing a lot of this, and they're, in a sense, allowed to do it. And when I mean allowed, I mean allowed as far as nobody is really checking for women doing these things. Because the main thing that society has brainwashed and told people is that there's only one demographic. There's only one side of the human species that commits and that and that, does these acts so many times, all the time, right? And the more and more that I look at it, it seems like somebody was lying, right? I'm not stating that you don't have men out here doing these things because best believe you do. You have male teachers doing this. Trust me, trust and believe. I've reported on them too. You do have them doing it. But when people want to talk about the percentages and the numbers, there's a lot of women out there. Some of which we know because we're able to see it, and a lot that we don't. And a lot that we don't. And again, it's amazing to me that these things are consistently able to happen. I've covered a variety of ethnicities performing these types of things, right? But more frequently, more often than not, they are Caucasian. And I feel that it would behoove the greater majority out there to start reporting on these things because these incidences are currently happening every single day. Like it's literally every single day. There's not a day that has gone by where a story like this has not taken place. It doesn't matter if it's the teacher with extra credit. It doesn't matter if it's in a classroom. It doesn't matter if it's outside of the school, right? It doesn't matter if the teacher magically like, "Hey, I'm going to tutor you. I'm going to take you back to my house," right? And a lot of the times these women are married and they got kids. And this is what they're doing. And they're allowed to do it because nobody looks at them with criminal intent. When realistically, when it comes to this, you should look at everybody the exact same. But that's not what happens because there's a such thing as double standards. And because of double standards, this is the main reason that you will always have these female teachers getting away and always committing these exact same acts.